is the Big O Show.
All right. How you doing, man? You doing all right?
Can't complain. How you doing?
Good. So what the hell's going on with Fangio?
It's a great question, isn't it? Here's one.
Can I give you a theory on something?
Oh, I was about to give you my theory, but
go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, my theory is it's been out there that there was this whole plan last year for Sean Payton and Tom Brady to join the Dolphins until it was kind of derailed by the Brian Flores lawsuit. And the plan also included Vic Fangio coming aboard as Sean Payton's defensive coordinator.
Okay.
Now it's entirely possible that they talked this off season and Sean Payton was looking to get back into coaching and they had made plans again to hook up. And then it looked like the Broncos were going in a different direction away from Sean Payton. So possibly at that point this weekend, when the Dolphins are hot and heavy after Fangio, they agreed to terms, and then maybe come to find out later that the Broncos circle back to Sean Payton, and Vic Fangio at that point says, "Oh, whoa, time out, wait a second, time out, wait a second."
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
And then the other thing too is also the reason that because now I can see somebody saying, "Well, if that's the case, then why hasn't he been hired already?" Well, they have to go through the process related to the Rooney Rule, so they're going to have to interview, even though it's possible that Sean Payton may already know that's the guy he wants. They still have to go through the machinations of the Rooney Rule and interview, minority candidates.
They already did in-house.
They in-house for head coach, not for defensive coordinator.
No, didn't they? Are you sure they didn't hire one?
So the one name I heard was it Chris Harris or?
I thought they interviewed one of their defensive, their linebackers coach or somebody for defensive coordinator. But either way, I thought the same thing, but I've changed my mind now as things are developing.
Go ahead. What's your theory now?
I think he's locked into Miami already. I think he just got pissed off that he got mentioned before the Super Bowl when he's probably still doing work with Philadelphia. So he probably got a little pissed off at the agent. And what's giving it away for me is, what are you hearing about San Francisco and Denver? Why isn't Schefter, Rap Sheet, Pelissero, Garofalo, Silver, Glazer? Why isn't anybody saying, "Hey, the Denver Broncos are making a wave and they're making some, they're getting close to this," or the Niners are getting close to this? With nothing. You don't hear anything with Fangio anymore. It has gone completely silent. And I just think, and that's why, the Tony Pauling came out yesterday, Barry Jackson came out yesterday and said that they're reporting that he's still coming here. And I believe he is, because the other shit would have gotten out too on the other side. Somehow or another, if they're making some progress, something would have come out from this, and nobody's reporting anything. The only thing people keep coming back with is he's still coming to Miami. And I think that's what it is. It was prematurely released by the agent, and the coach got pissed. Not the Dolphins. I think it's the agent that ended up releasing this whole thing, and that's why we're in this pickle now. So after the Super Bowl, maybe is when we hear, that announcement.
Okay. While your theory makes sense, I'm going to do a counterpoint to that theory.
I love it.
Not entirely. But the fact that it's gone radio silent, you're making a big deal of the fact that it's gone radio silent.
Yep.
It is possible that Fangio now has told everybody, zip it. We're going to do this behind the scenes. I don't want any of this crap coming out anymore until there's something that can be announced.
It's the NFL, dude. Nothing goes under the radar like that. I just have a hard time believing that.
But somebody has to leak it. If Vic Fangio tells his agent or tells anybody he's involved with, you do not say a word about this, it's going to get respected until there's actually a deal. So I'm not disputing the notion that he very well could still come here. I'm just saying that there are possible scenarios involved as well.
Hey, Planet Killer, thanks for telling us that Beathard has passed away. That was yesterday, buddy. Way to go. But yes, we know that Bobby Beathard unfortunately passed away. Although 86, right? He lived a good life, bro.
Do you know what though, Big O? I never begrudge somebody passing along information, no matter how old, because in that 1 in 7,000 chance that we haven't heard about. By the way, did you hear Tom Brady retired? Announced it on Twitter yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Shocker. Oh,
Yeah.
I got to check that out. By the way, Beth,
hell of a GM.
Damn it, dude. That guy was awesome. You know, I didn't realize that he discovered and hired Joe Gibbs. I did not know that nugget. Like, I knew he helped build all those Washington teams, you know, the Miami teams, what he did with San Diego, you know, all that stuff. I know how great the guy was. I mean, Jesus Christ, he was awesome and cool because he was a surfer, too, on top of all of that, which was, like, unheard of that. So this guy's like an NFL GM, and then, you know, in the morning before he goes to the office, he's out in the West Coast surfing. That was just going on, you know? And so that's actually pretty cool about Bobby. But I did not know the nugget that he hired Joe Gibbs, which, you know, for me, Joe Gibbs has the greatest achievement of any head coach, even better than Don Shula in his perfect season. The 3 championships with 3 different quarterbacks and none of them Hall of Famers. Brother, that is a feat that to me is way more impressive than 17-0, to be quite honest. And I know it's blasphemous to say it in this town and say that kind of stuff, but 3 championships, that proves to you that his system was the ultimate system, that I could plug in any quarterback and he was going to be productive. That's just ridiculous, dude. Really ridiculous. Those teams are good.
No question about it. And if you remember, what stands out about those Washington teams, that O-line.
The Hogs.
The Hogs.
Of course.
They're ridiculous.
Of course. What was the guy that went to Phoenix? What was Phoenix?
Bugle.
That's it. Larry Bugle. That's it. And he was a great coach. They had Pettibone as their defensive coordinator, who was freaking fantastic. That was a great franchise, man. What Snyder has done to that franchise is
not good.
Yeah, no, it's like the scene in Scarface. You can't do anything to me that Castro has not done already. And that's kind of what Redskins fans are now. You can't do anything to us that Snyder has not done already. So yeah,
no, and it's like you could say the same thing about another NFC East team, the Cowboys. They used to be like in the 70s and the 80s were like, you know.
But at least they do some winning still. You know what I mean? At least they give you a decent season. No, I know they don't get over the hump, but dude, Washington.
Oh, no, I agree.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's like completely off the cliff. You've gone from, you know, royalty to like the dregs of the NFL now. Yep. Which is like really, really bad. All right, so let's to me, I kind of find it funny, not the Tua situation and concussions or anything. I don't find that funny, but I find the reaction from people. Oh, he's finally off concussion protocol and this, that, or they're worried about some Pro Bowl or something. And it's like, what this guy needs is rest. Who gives a shit that he was still on concussion protocol? This is part of the process. Guess what? They probably mishandled everything during the regular season. How about let's handle things the right way now? And there's the off season. So let the man rest. Let the brain recover. Why are some people so worried that he wasn't ready to possibly go to the Pro Bowl and replace the guy that threw 2 touchdowns for the Ravens? I mean, give me a break, dude. It's like, really?
I haven't. I'll be honest with you. I haven't heard that.
Yeah. I've gotten. It's like, oh, he can't even be ready for the Pro Bowl or whatever. And it's like, who gives a shit about that, dude?
No, and him clearing for concussion protocol. You can say it's not a big deal because it obviously was expected, but obviously it's a step that needed to happen at some point, and the fact that it's happening sooner rather than later is obviously a good sign. If it had been
a lot faster than Ethan Carter,
correct.
And Ethan, from what we know, it was 1 concussion, and it was months before they even decided to put him on the IR, because it happened right at the end of training camp, right? I believe.
No, season opener.
Or first week. Okay, first week of the season, and then from there on, dude, he was on the IR forever until they said, yeah, we got to put him permanently on the IR. He's done. And I know he was important because he was Alec Ingold's backup. So if anything happened to Alec Ingold, that was the second guy in line. Whoever would play would have been your third option at that point, and that would have been a little disappointing.
Yeah, but Mike McDaniel told us late in the year, he was asked specifically about Stephen Carter, that in conjunction with the medical personnel, that Stephen Carter made a decision fairly early that, you know, this needed to happen, that he needed to just like, so, and
shows what it was, how much it was affecting him.
Well, correct. Some of my colleagues, I actually never saw the replay where he got hurt. And some of my colleagues said that, who did see it, said it was like bad, like he was like out cold, like immediately. So, and again, this is what I've said all along: is concussions are fickle and they're not the same for every player. But I'm going to go back to my point that, like,
by the way, COVID was the same way. Dave Navarro 2 years later still can't taste anything.
Correct.
Some people, it went through like a cold. Some people died. It just, we had no idea how it was going to affect different people. Unfortunately, you know, it's just one of those things. And the same thing, Larry Zonka is a rock, and he led with his head and carried 4 dudes on a consistent basis, dude. And nothing has ever happened to Larry Zonka. Maybe he's just got a freaking hammerhead. You know what I mean? But not everybody is blessed with Larry Zonka's skull structure.
No, correct. But the bottom line for me, again, is it was expected, but again, it's still like a major step that needed to happen regardless of when it happened. So hey, I don't want to poo-poo. As far the Pro Bowl to me is like,
oh, give me a break, dude.
I mean, you're 3 quarterbacks now with Trevor Lawrence, Tyler Huntley, and Derek Carr, who were like the 4th, 5th, and 6th alternates. I mean, Jesus Christ, come on.
Right.
And then Josh Allen withdraws because of an injury, and he's out in California playing in Pebble Beach.
Yeah. By the way, they are informing us now that the Beatles broke up.
No way. Now that's disappointing.
I'm depressed now. That's it. I don't think I can do this show anymore now.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay. Yeah. And by the way, I'm going to say I'm a Dave Matthews fan, because one thing I've learned about Dave Matthews fans: don't ever speak bad about Dave Matthews in front of a Dave Matthews fan. Those people are fanatical. Okay, watch out. Rush
people are also like that.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
I like Dave Matthews also.
So what you're telling me, it was all Dave Matthews and Rush fans January 6th at the Capitol? I'm sorry. Anyway, let's just get it was too easy.
It was anti-Rush,
and anti-Dave Matthews fans. All right. Those were the fanatical people that we saw there. Okay, I got it now. All right. So what's your gut tell you about the Fangio thing in the end?
Jesus.
I think he's coming. I think it's done.
My gut tells me I don't know.
No, yeah, that's what most people think.
I mean, I don't want to pretend that right now that I know something that people know, because if I did, I'd be writing it.
Right, exactly. That's why we're all going with guts right now. We're not going with facts. We're just going with guts. We don't have the facts.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you go because there are 2 points. He agreed to terms with the Dolphins and backed off. So basically, now if he signs with somebody else, he's going back on his word with the Dolphins.
Right.
If he told Sean Payton last year, and that's out there, multiple credible people who have reported it. If he told Sean Payton last year, I'm coming with you, I'm going to run your defense, and now Payton gets a job, and all of a sudden it's like, no, I'm not going with you. Is he turning his back on Sean Payton? So my feeling is it's going to be Denver or the Dolphins. And then the Denver factor is they just fired him 2 years ago as head coach. Now, it's not the same ownership. I understand that.
And the general manager now has no power, because Payton will now take over personnel, suck up his information, fire him in May when his contract's up right after the draft, and bring in his own general manager. We've all seen this story before. This is what happens. That's the way it goes. So the guy that's in place now is just it's a Randy Mueller situation. Well, Coach Saban, yep, here are all my draft reports. Okay, that's great. Here, I got my own. All right, let's go. It's like, damn, what did I do all that work for? That kind of shit.
No, but correct. But again, or he tells George Payton, listen, I'll keep you along, but I'm the one who's going to make the final call. and with the blessing of ownership, and then if George Payton is okay with that, but he's a guy who's got a good reputation around the league, and he may decide, no,
really good dude, really good dude, man.
Somewhere else. So.
Yeah, I think he'll end up somewhere else. Unfortunately, not his fault. It's part of the changes, man. It happens, you know. It's we're watching Mike McDaniel now. He inherited 2 coaches, and he's already changed one. And who knows, he might change the other one also. But that's kind of part of the game. When you inherit certain people, they may not end up surviving for you. You know what I'm saying?
The more juice you have coming into a job, you know, the more power you're given. Obviously, people want the Broncos really wanted Sean Payton at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. All right. What else? What was I going to ask you about Dolphins wise? What do you got going over there on the?
You're not going to ask me about Bradley Chubb being named to the Pro Bowl?
Well, that's exactly Bradley Chubb. Chubb in the club is in the Pro Bowl.
Very good. Chubb in the club.
Yeah, the club. You got to put the club because you know we got to modernize it for Fitty. Yeah, if we're gonna reference Fitty, we gotta kind of the club. So
is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah. So Chubb and the club is in the Pro Bowl. What do you think about that? Reputation, right? You don't get on the year before that you deserve it. You know, is Christian Wilkins in the Pro Bowl?
No.
Okay.
No, and then the rosters have been finalized, so that ship has sailed.
So next year, guaranteed Christian Wilkins is in the Pro Bowl. That's just kind of the way it goes. And then you stay on a year too long, normally, i.e. Xavier Howard, that, you know, you don't deserve to be in the Pro Bowl, but you're getting on pure reputation. And that's what Chubb is doing. He's getting on pure reputation because obviously he did not have a Pro Bowl year this year.
No, but 2.0. Yeah, dude had like 2.5 sacks in 8 games with the Dolphins. That was 8 total. But no, 2 points here. Chubb actually did make the Pro Bowl once with Denver. I haven't really studied the outside linebackers in the AFC to see if there was somebody more deserving. I don't know. Christian Wilkins is going to have, if the Dolphins maintain the same kind of scheme where he's listed as a defensive end, if they're predominantly a 3-4 base, he's going to have a hard time because his sack numbers are not up there, and he's competing against guys at defensive end who do put up big sack numbers like Joey Bosa, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett. Those are just 3 off the top of my head.
Well, hey, listen, man, good for him. Bottom line, probably has a little bonus in his contract for it. So he's going to make a little extra money. How aggressive do you think the Dolphins will be in free agency?
Not very, because they can be. And I know, I'm fully aware they can do some things to create cap space. The 4 things that really jump out would be Jerome Baker could be in trouble, Byron Jones, Christian Wilkins extension, restructuring Tyreek Hill. So they can get themselves some maneuverability, but they have Myles Gaskin under contract at running. Is he no, not even. They don't have one running back under contract. So
and the other 2 backs aren't going to be expensive either if you want to bring them back. I'm going to be intrigued to see which guys come back and what do they add, because it could go both ways. You know, I was talking with somebody about this because he was thinking that they draft somebody, and I'm thinking that offense is so complicated that what you may want to do is actually find another veteran to play in there, because you need a quick transition, I think, in that position, and you've got to be careful there. Where if you bring in a rookie, and he might be a highly touted rookie, but he's going to go through rookie pains. And in that offense, rookie pains could end up getting your quarterback killed.
Well, but here's the other question too: is would we really be that surprised if they brought back Wilson and Mostert?
No, not at all.
I wouldn't be.
But my point is, Gaskin may not be the third guy. It may be somebody that could really actually give them a 3-headed monster or whatever it is, because Mostert isn't a bell cow anyways. Not that really there's much bell cows left in the damn NFL. Correct. But he's the guy that you've got to only give 14, 17 carries a game. You're not going into the 20s with this guy because it's a real risk. And even you saw him kind of wear down towards the back end a little bit, and he was fantastic, and he's injury prone. So I almost get the feeling that's my point, that the third back may not be a young back. It might end up being a veteran back.
Or maybe they bring back Savon Ahmed. Like I said,
he played well, man.
No, that's the thing. He flashed, and the problem with the Dolphin running backs, where we don't necessarily, I don't want to say it's not. I don't want to say that's not like we don't know what they have, but it's not like they made extensive use of the running backs and those guys failed. I mean, they did a pretty good job when they were called upon. They weren't called upon that much. So, and I'm going to guess we're going to hear throughout the offseason and into training camp, well, we'd like to be a little bit more balanced, run the ball more. But if the season starts and defenses go back to not figuring out how to cover Hill and Waddle and the passing game is clicking like that, are you really going to – again, the running game is good to have if the passing game isn't clicking, which is what happened in December. But in the middle of the season when they were torching, you know, it was Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, Houston. Who cares that they weren't running the ball necessarily that much, because they were producing big numbers on offense regardless. Right.
By the way, Dougie Fresh again giving us some info here. I don't know if you know this, but Canada and Montreal lost the Expos. They moved to the U.S. and became what is now known as the Washington Nationals. I don't know if you know this because you got the hat on.
That's my buddy right there. And why would my man hurt me like that? If he knows me, he knows that's a sore spot, which is part of the reason why I wear the hat all the time.
By the way, Dougie Fresh gave me this hat yesterday. I visited him and the wife at their sports bar in Pensacola. Nice. There's 3 sports bars. They're called the Ticket Sports Bar 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And they're actually opening up a bigger one now, like a 10,000 square feet or some crap like that. Some enormous ass sports bar with volleyball courts and everything. But anyway, so they were very nice. And when I got there, they had a bottle of Fiji water ready for me, that was very nice. That was quality. So Doug has been with us when we started this show, this platform. He's been with us from the get-go. So, and he's always the comedian on the chat board. Mm-hmm. So he's always entertaining. So it's good. Good people, man. And by the way, he outkicked his coverage with his wife.
I know that feeling.
Like I did. Like his same thing. When I saw Victoria, I go, wow, dude. Like you did the same thing I did. You hypnotized her, you drugged her, whatever it was, but you like somehow convinced her to marry you. You know, because that's what everybody says about my wife. Like, how the hell did you get that? You know, that kind of stuff. So yeah. So he's a lucky man. So there you go. It's a beautiful thing. What do you got?
Good dude. I didn't need to take a shot at my Expos there. That's very, very painful. Very hurtful.
Yes. Okay. So what do you got going on alldolphins.com?
Oh, I'm going to keep tabs on the defensive coordinator search, which eventually is going to come to an end. And then it'll be interesting too. The dominoes are going to fall when it happens, because the new DC is going to probably bring in. Obviously, he's going to have to bring in some coaches because they're minus now an outside linebackers coach, safeties coach, assistant linebackers, and they no longer have the defensive assistant now that our buddy Patrick took the job with Florida State.
Great move by Norvell, dude, because he got himself also a recruiter. Mm-hmm. Freaking genius move on his part.
Yeah, and it's good for Pat's career to get like maybe more hands-on stuff. Yeah. For that. So.
Yeah, because he can then move to defensive coordinator from there and then start to really get into the NFL at a higher level instead of climbing that ladder inside the NFL is a little harder probably. Mm-hmm. Takes longer.
Correct.
So, yeah, I'm with you there. There's no doubt. Yep. All right, so follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. And remember, you're not an official Dolphins fan if you do not bookmark alldolphins.com. That's what every Dolphin fan on the planet must do. Bookmark alldolphins.com. Alan, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you immensely.
You got to continue to have fun in Mobile, and we'll talk next week.
You got it, my man. There you go. Alan Poupart. Don't forget EJD Construction, servicing Dade and Broward County, 305-433-4843. And that number is not like an office number. It is the owner's cell number. Eric, proud sponsor of our program, our platform. Been a sponsor of ours now for several years. And folks, we tell you about it all the time. Custom home construction, major home remodeling, not a handyman. We're talking about a full contractor So he can do anything and everything that you need for your business or your home. You call the great people at ejdconstruction.com. And let me tell you something. Fully insured liability and workers' comp. Never hire anyone that isn't fully insured to work in your home, because if they get injured, they can sue you. So make sure you hire people that are responsible. ejdconstruction.com. Go to their Instagram page so you can see a lot of their work. Their amazing work. 305-433-4843. That is Eric's cell number. So you can call him anytime. ejdconstruction.com.